And, they won the division. They're a great football team, great coaches, great system, so many great players. Their defense is phenomenal, top 5 defense basically in every category. Great rush, great cover linebackers. They blitz well. A lot of continuity in the secondary. A lot of ball hawks in the secondary. They've been one of the top teams in the league for a long time, and they've had some tough playoff losses, that real fluke plays. But other than that, there's not a lot of bad about this team. They're pretty spectacular.
So Sunday night's big marquee matchup will see the Buccaneers travel to New Orleans to play the Saints in what will be the 3rd game this year between these two division rivals. While the Saints won both games convincingly, the Buccaneers entered this game as one of the league's hottest teams offensively, and they're led by their 43-year-old quarterback, the GOAT Tom Brady. In the 2 games against the Saints, Brady struggled a lot, particularly in the Week 9 game where he threw 0 touchdowns and 3 picks. The Bucs lost that game to a score of 38-3, so the Saints clearly have the mental edge heading into this playoff matchup. Defensively, the Bucs were ranked 21st against the pass and 1st against the run, and the Saints offense have a few players who the Bucs really need to watch. The first being wide receiver Michael Thomas, who looks to be almost back to full strength. The receiver missed much of the season due to injury, but scored his first touchdown of the season against the Bears in the wildcard game last week. Thomas in his 2 games against the Bucs was largely limited while he was playing injured and only combined for 8 catches for 68 yards and no score. However, in 2019, the Saints receiver had a field day in his first game against Tampa as he collected 182 yards and 2 scores off of 11 receptions. He then followed that up with another impressive performance in Week 11, racking up 8 catches for $111 and a touchdown. So the Bucs corners will surely have their work cut out for them when they go head-to-head with last season's Offensive Player of the Year. Stopping Thomas will not be an easy task. He's a big physical pass catcher who has a huge catch radius and has one of the most trusted hands in the league. And in the end, limiting Thomas's impact on the game is what Todd Bowles' defense should look to strive for. Next, when we look at Alvin Kamara of the Saints, this offense really starts and stops with the running back. He's one of the most dynamic running backs in the league, a versatile, explosive playmaker who can create a lot of yards in the backfield as a receiver as he can running the ball. Kamara finished the season rushing for 932 yards along with 16 touchdowns. That being said, the running back had 2 very quiet games against the Bucs defense in the regular season, and that's largely attributed to the Buccaneers linebackers, particularly Devin White and Levante David. These 2 have the instincts and athleticism to neutralize a back like Kamara. Simply put, these 2 will have to be on their A game if they want to stop the Saints' run game. Looking at Drew Brees, while he hasn't played a full season due to a rib injury, the quarterback is still playing at a very high level. He might not have the same zip in his balls as he once did, but Brees can still beat you in many ways. He's still very deadly accurate and just always seems to able to connect with his receivers. While Todd Bowles' defense ranked 6th in blitz rate, Brees has done fairly well against the blitz as he has the 2nd highest rating when facing the blitz. He's able to get the ball out of his hands quickly and has only been sacked a total of 29 times this season. On top of that, the QB simply does not turn over the ball too often, so the Bucs D is simply going to have to find ways to get at the quarterback. Tampa's pass rush was one of the league's best, collecting 49 sacks and 116 quarterback hits, but they will be up against a formidable Saints O-line, and with injury questions surrounding Jason Pierre-Paul, others on the defense will simply have to step up. Guys like Ndamukong Suh and Shaq Barrett are going to have to fill in the void for JPP if he does not end up playing. All in all, this is a very good Saints offense that can beat you in many ways, so the Bucs defense have to be able to close down space and be able to contain both Thomas and Kamara if they have any hopes of playing the championship game. The Buccaneers were red hot in the final month of the season on offense, and it didn't really slow down in the wildcard game against Washington, with the exception of some unexpected red zone struggles. Since returning from its Week 13 bye, Tampa has averaged 35.8 points and an incredible 459 yards per game. The offense has also not been held to fewer than 24 points since the disappointing 38-3 Week 9 loss to the Saints. And at the center of all this is Tom Brady, the quarterback who's largely written off from the media for being past his prime. And while in recent weeks he has shown that he can sling it with the best of them, the competition he faced from weeks 14 to 17 had an overall record of 16-32, and none of those teams are in the playoffs. Brady simply struggled mightily against playoff opponents this season, with the exception of the Packers, and the main issue was he was simply getting pressured from the opposing team's defensive line. The regular season games against the Saints, Bears, and Rams, Tom was facing a lot of pressure, and this obviously resulted in a lot of hits, turnovers, and missed throws. That being said, Brady has clearly not lost any arm strength at the age of 43. And while he'll be expected to make a lot of big plays this Sunday, a lot of that will depend on his offensive line, and there are a few key matchups that really need to be addressed. The first being Saints pass rusher Cameron Jordan versus Bucs right tackle Tristan Wirfs. The rookie tackle had a solid first season, but will have his hands full with the Pro Bowl defensive end, one of the league's most productive pass rushers. Cameron has had a lot of success in the past against the Bucs, but will be up against a tackle who is credited with allowing just one sack during the entire regular season. So yeah, Wirfs is the real deal and simply has to contain Jordan, who didn't register a sack all season against the Bucs. And on the other end of the line, this will probably be the most intriguing matchup if Trey Hendrickson is cleared to play on Sunday. He was at practice this week, but limited. Anyways, he'll be going toe-to-toe with Bucs left tackle Donovan Smith. During the regular season, Hendrickson was one of the main reasons the Saints won both games convincingly. He was a menace on the field and was pressuring Brady in both games. He registered a combined 3 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, 4 quarterback hits, and a total of 7 tackles. So yeah, he was everywhere on the field and was the most disruptive force against the Bucs offense. And Tampa's clearly going to need Smith to have a big game and try to contain Hendrickson. While Smith had a fantastic game eliminating Washington rookie edge rusher Chase Young last week, he's going to be facing a more experienced pass rusher in Cameron Jordan. Simply put, Donovan needs to lock him down. During the regular season, Tampa's passing game ranked 3rd and was mainly due to Tom threading the ball to all his receivers. While he had a ton of receiving options in Evans, Godwin, Brown, Bray, Miller, and Gronkowski, his most trusted receiver this past season was Mike Evans, as he was Tom's most favored receiver in the red zone. The two connected on 13 touchdowns in 2020, but in this week's matchup, the receiver will be going up against one of his nemesis in cornerback Marshawn Lattimore, who's mostly locked up the receiver in all their battles except for maybe one game. Evans had a difficult time when going up against the Saints corner and will simply have to forget the pass. In their 2 meetings this season, Evans was held to just 66 yards on 5 catches with 0 scores. That being said, Tom and Mike have since connected 6 times in the end zone and have developed a stronger rapport since their last meeting with the Saints in Week 9. Moreover, the Bucs will probably heavily feature Antonio Brown in the passing game, as in recent weeks, he's been getting more accustomed to the offense and has scored 5 touchdowns in the last 4 games of the regular season. And lastly, Chris Godwin needs to step up his game. He had a few drops against Washington last week, and that's largely down to a lack of concentration. He's a great receiver who's very versatile and should see a lot of targets in the slot this game. Additionally, Tampa will need to get the running game going, whether that be in the form of Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette. Tom Brady excels in play action, and in order to get that going, the Bucs simply need to run the ball well. All in all, this game between 2 aging quarterbacks, one being the GOAT and the other a Hall of Famer, is likely going to be a classic. This game is very important to Tom and his legacy. He didn't come to Tampa just to make the playoffs, but to win a Super Bowl. And this year's big game is in Tampa. And what better year would it be for Brady to win a Super Bowl as the first ever home team? Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe with all notifications turned on. It doesn't cost you anything, and you could always unsub or turn off notifications at any point in time.